What's up, outdoor pandas? Peter my Panda here. Hey, I just bought myself this high-powered headlamp because I love headlamps and I'm afraid of the dark. Yay! So I thought I'd show it to you. This is a headlamp by Futtop, I think the name is. It comes with these accessories here. So a cord for USB adapted cord, or your direct outlet plug, your DC car charging, which is kind of cool that it comes with all those. So, and here's the headlamp itself. Let's take a look at the power end of it. So here's the housing for the batteries, and I can tell by the weight it has the batteries in it already. It has a rubber cover. It goes over the top plastic, the rear plastic case, and there are two 3.7 volt lithium ion 18650 batteries, 2200 milliamps. So really big batteries, you know, for a light, and that's great. There's also a port right here for charging, whichever method you choose to use. So the housing itself works like a charger, which is pretty cool, because if you don't have the separate charger that plugs into the wall for these, you know, you don't need it. But obviously you can have those too. They're only a few bucks. You can get those online. Rubber cover here, which is kind of cool. And the small things that I dig is that it's tethered on there, so you don't have to worry about losing that too much. And the power cable runs all the way around, and it's corded like this. You remember on old telephones that had cords up to the front. Nice elastic straps, and you know, you can adjust these. One goes over the top of the head and the other two around the sides of your head. Really comfortable. So first of all, I just want to throw this on and show you that the back, this white plastic here, is translucent. And when I power on the headlamp, you get the red LED behind it to light up. This is awesome, and it's kind of an undersold piece of the headlamp because you always figure it's there to give you light in front of you. But if you're a biker or a hiker, or if you're a pedestrian walking along the side of a road, this is a really great safety feature to have basically a tail light on your head so that people don't crash into you. You know, so really cool. It's kind of one of those things that it's just a nice piece of engineering and feature to have on here. So, and the cool thing is the different modes for the headlamp itself are also reflected in the rear light. So the high, the low, and then the strobe feature there. So pretty cool. Now let's get to the business end of this headlamp, and here's the housing. The polymer housing here is curved inside. It should fit up against your head very nicely and usually comfortable. There is some foam that's applied to the inside there. I've never had any problem with them being uncomfortable, and especially your hair works as another layer of padding. Then if you're wearing a hat or something like that, you get that on top of it. The housing element here is pretty cool because it's a Cree LED bulb, as you can see in there, and the crown here looks like it is metal. I wouldn't say it's aluminum, but some sort of, you know, kind of really lightweight alloy, but protects this really kind of marble-shaped glass lens there from, you know, from being destroyed if you're going to be in a real high-impact area. Plastic housing, power button in the green rubber or silicone on this side. The cool thing is here, the headlamp adjusts to cast the beam out in various ways. So you can adjust it up and down, throw the beam really far out, or work right in front of you if you're working on something, or if you're walking, you might want the beam kind of just a few feet ahead of you. If you're biking and kind of moving at speed, you might want the beam further out. So that's cool. You can cast that beam at different angles. But then the other thing that's pretty cool is that this element here pulls in and out. So you can zoom, you make the beam broader, make it more of a pencil beam, whatever you want to do. You have kind of that up and down adjustment, and then also beam dispersion changes there. The other thing I want to tell you is that the adjustment here has pretty good resistance, so you don't have to worry about it kind of moving on you, even if you're biking on rough surfaces or bobbing your head. It clicks into place, and it has good resistance, kind of like the hinge on a laptop. Even the resistance here, as I pull this in and out, it doesn't really want to move from where I leave it, so you don't have to worry about it kind of flopping around. It's really, the O-ring in there or whatever must create a pretty nice seal, so that's pretty cool too. Alright, so like I said, 3 modes. by pressing this button and activated by turning it on, high beam, clicking it again, low beam, and then the third mode is a strobe, which is great for signaling. It can be good for biking, signaling for emergencies, etc. So let's take a look at this against the wall and kind of see what you can do with this. Alright, so I've got the room pretty bright here, and here is the headlamp, and I'm going to just turn it on. Angle it down here so we can see it while I turn it on. So there is the high beam, and as I pull the headlamp or push it back in, it gets dimmer but wider, and as I pull it back out, it really focuses that, and you can actually see the shape of the LED element itself. And again, you can kind of go anywhere in between. The second mode is a little bit dimmer, and so it's kind of like your low beams. You don't have to worry about blinding someone that's oncoming, conserves battery power, you may want to use that. And then the third one is the strobe, and it's a pretty fast strobe. Sometimes they're kind of a really slow strobe. This one is pretty quick. So you got all three modes there, and then fourth is off. So we're in a very well lit room right now, and you can see that that beam is very bright. We'll try it outside too. Alright peeps, came outside. I'm wearing the headlamp. It's actually a pretty bright night because we don't have quite a full moon, but we have 75% of a full moon. So there's actually pretty good ambient light you can see out here. And I've got the headlamp on, and I'm going to turn it on. And there is that first setting. So this is the bright setting, and it is projecting out about 10 feet in front of me, and very bright. And if I press that in, man, it creates a pretty wide pattern. I mean, I could certainly hike with this, no problem. Even on the next setting, I could, it's actually even better because it doesn't kind of kill your night vision on other things. So, but that pencil beam is pretty small. Even the 10 feet in front of me, it's a kind of a 1.5 foot squared. And you can see if I shoot it out there, and let's get past the strobe back to the bright one, put it on that pencil beam, and I can really shoot it out there far, man. This headlight is bright, that is for sure. So really cool. I think this could work for a lot of things. Really big battery, so I'm assuming it'll last a long time. And I'm just really in love with this headlamp. Definitely a good deal. I'll put a link to it in the description with all the accessories and everything. It's everything you need is in the box. So check it out for the ultra bright headlamp. Peter von Panda out.